Horses are parading behind Ashley Nostat. And let's introduce the field to you right now. Number 1 is American Ideal, a Western Ideal 3-year-old colt. Owned by Mac Nichol of St. Albert, Alberta, and Brittany Farms of Versailles, Kentucky. Casey Coleman does the training. Mark McDonald is the bike. Yeah, the big question mark, can the lady and the colts win the cup from the rail? She won her race last week by 3 1/4 lengths. That's Casey did. The colt, he was the one that did all the work with Mark McDonald aboard. American Ideal, lots is expected of him tonight. 2 has been scratched. 3, McCabe Hall, is by Cam Best, owned by Ben Wallace and Brad Grant, trained by Ben. Mario Barjon in the bike, finishing second to Stonebridge Regal last week. McCabe Hall is going to be looking for a trip tonight with $108,000 in the bank, looking for more. The 4 horse is IZ. He's a Western Hanover. He was named after Paul Eiselbart, who played hockey for the Detroit Red Wings. Paul is sharing the ownership with Cliff Grundy, CSX Stables, and Bob McIntosh Stables. Bob does the training. Christopher is in the bike tonight. IZ roughed up just a little bit last week, finished 3rd to American Ideal. He'll look for a better trip tonight. 5 horses, Lincoln Park. He's an Estrellos, owned by Art Slack and Carl Ungerman, along with Fred Jameson and George Harrison. Bill Houdon in the bike. Carl Jameson does the training. The 6 horse is Zuka. He's an Estrellos colt. Little on the lazy side. Brad Ford likes lazy horses, he says, earlier tonight. This Estrellos colt is owned by Ben Wallace and Jim Miller. Ben does the training. Brad's in the bike. Leading driver at Windsor this past year. He's hot and looking to get hotter with number 6, Zuka. 7 is Stonebridge Regal on the board right now as the 1-2 favorite. He's by Art's Place. He has 8 wins and 10 starts this year, and he took his record 149-3. That makes him the fastest colt in Canada. He's owned by R.A. Kaufman, Angie Stiller, our McIntosh Stables, W Springtime Racing Stable, trained by Bob McIntosh. Jack Moiseev's in the bike. He's been handicapped a little with the outside 7 post, but they don't think it's going to bother him the way that he races. He was eased up under the wire last week, winning by 3 3/4 in 152-2 at 5 cents to the dollar. He will be the favorite tonight, Stonebridge Regal. The 8 is Leading Example. He's the one that made the biggest burst and came from way out of it last week. He's by the Ponderosa, owned by Leading Example Stable of Port Perry, Ontario. Bill Elliott does the training. Randy Waples is in the bike again tonight. Randy likes doing the upsetting in our Provincial Cup. He's done it before. It may happen again tonight. The key is going to be he'll have an eye leaving the gate on where the 7 horse is going to be. It'll give him an idea of how he will race his race tonight. The 9 horse is Banner Yankee. He's a bay 3-year-old Ridgeling from a grin from ear to ear, owned by the Banner Yankee Stable of Princeton, Ontario. Carl Jameson does the training. Carl's son, Jody, Canada's world champion representative, is in the bike. And the 10 is He's a Nice Guy. He gets in off the also eligible. He finished 4th last week. Had a long way to go after trailing for most of the mile. Kevin Wallace is in the bike tonight for Antonio Cheravelli, another Bill Elliott entry in this one. He's an Arts Place colt. He's a nice guy. He'll be a long shot, though. And he has Kevin Wallace in the bike. He's 53-1 right now. 7 minutes till post time for the 40th Provincial Cup. It's now for 3-year-olds here at Windsor. Ideal. Then it's going to be He's a Nice Guy. McCabe Hall is the 3. IZ, Lincoln Park, and Zuka in the center. Stonebridge Regal, Leading Example, and Banner Yankee on the outside. Are you ready for a little Provincial Cup? They're at the post here at Windsor for the 13th, the 40th edition of the Provincial Cup. The Provincial Cup field is now moving through the backstretch, and there they go. They're off and pacing, and it's McCabe Hall first away between horses. Down along the inside is American Ideal, and going off stride as they left that gate was Lincoln Park. Rushing up on the outside now, that's Banner Yankee to make the front. Also going off stride as they move around that turn was McCabe Hall. The front end was too much for him. Banner Yankee with the lead. Western Ideal isn't, or American Ideal isn't going to sit second. He moves out and takes over the lead. American Ideal at the quarter in 26 and 2. That's on track with the track record. It's American Ideal. Now he's going to back it off a little here in front of the grandstand. You don't care about how fast it is as long as you get there first. American Ideal has lead out of the 4-hole. There goes the favorite, Stonebridge Regal. We're going to hit each other early as they move into the clubhouse turn. American Ideal has the lead. Up on the outside now, Stonebridge Regal challenges for second as they hit the half in 55 seconds, moving on around the paddock turn. It's American Ideal on the inside. Stonebridge Regal still challenging for second down on the inside. In third is Banner Yankee, moving up on the outside now. Fourth as they straighten out down the backstretch comes IZ. He has his cover. Along the inside, racing in fifth as He's a Nice Guy, moving up on the outside and taking over sixth. That's a leading example, tipping 3 wide. Look at him go. 122 to the 3/4. That's faster than the track record. They move around the turn. It's American Ideal with the lead. Moving up on the outside. Here comes leading example. They're off the turn and into the stretch. There's an upset in the making here. Leading example has the lead on the outside. American Ideal on the inside. On through the lane. It's Randy Waples coming down to the wire with leading example, winning the 40th edition of the Provincial Cup in 151 flat, a new track record. Win in 4 starts this year. Leading example paces the mile in 151 flat, and that's a new lifetime record for leading example. We're going to direct your attention into the winner's enclosure. We have some dignitaries that we'd like to introduce to you, including Linda Tanaka, the chair of the Ontario Racing Commission, John Walzak, the chief operating officer of the Ontario Harness Horse Association, John Milson, the president of Windsor Raceway, Pat Sullier, Vice President of Operations here at Windsor, and our race secretary, Paul Brown. They're all heading into the winner's enclosure to congratulate the connections of leading example and Randy Waples, who won the 40th edition of the Provincial Cup. Now, Frank Salive is down there, and Frank, we're going to ask you to turn your microphone on, and we're going to let you take over the presentation from here.
Will do, Marty.